The following radio broadcast is dedicated to the Honorable Marcus Oya Garvey, father of the Pan African movement, Africa for the Africans. Those at home and those abroad. Sojourners for truth, African cultural exchange.
In life I shall be the same, in death I shall be a terror. If death has power, then come to me to be the real Marcus Garvey I would like to be. If I may come in an earthquake or a plague or a pestilence or a God would have me, then be assured that I shall never desert you and let your enemies triumph over you. When I am dead, wrap the mantle of the red, the black and the green around me, for in the new life I shall rise up with God's Christian blessings. To lead the millions up the heights and the triumph that you will know. Look for me in a world when I was calm. Look for me all around you. For the dark days, I shall come back with countless millions of black men and women who have died in America, those who have died in the West Indies, and those who have died in Africa. To aid you in the fight for liberty, freedom, and life.
No one remember old Marcus Garvey. No one remember old Marcus Garvey.
The Honorable Marcus Oya Garvey was born August 17, 1887, in St. Ann's Bay, Jamaica. From his humble beginnings, Marcus Garvey rose to become the father of Pan Africanism, giving birth to the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League, which had 6 million members in over 44 countries around the world.
They've been talking about now man Washington man Lee, including Poster man King. No one remember old Marcus Garvey. No one remember old Marcus Garvey.
Greetings, this is Sister Oya Kali bringing you another edition of Sojourners for Truth, African Cultural Exchange, where we highlighted the 23rd annual Bob Marley Day Festival, interviewing various artists about the spirit of Pan-Africanism preserved in reggae music and culture.
I look towards the future with lots of confidence. Good over evil, no war, no violence. The righteous will be rejoicing. Rejoicing. And I know, all Africa shall be free.
Marcus Garvey was one of those first
Eddie
African who born in the Western world out of Kingston, out of St. Anne, Jamaica, from a humble beginning, a humble family, but he was so focused first on education. And Marcus Garvey said that the black man must always read and make education be his #1 priority.
So France under Napoleon did it. Germany under Prince von Bismarck did it. England under America under George Washington did it. Africa with 400 million black people can do it. If you cannot do it, if you are not prepared to do it, then you will die. You race of cowards, you race of imbeciles, you race of good for nothing. If you cannot do what other men have done, what other nations have done, what other races have done, then you have better die. Can we do it? We can do it. We shall do it. We pray to God for vision and for leadership. And He has given us a universal vision. A vision that will not limit our possibilities to America. A vision that will not limit our possibilities to the West Indies, but a vision that said there must be a free and redeemed Africa.
At the time, I guess why the movements, if it was now Marcus was around, I guess it would be more bigger, it would be more explosive. But at the time, black people like ourselves wasn't too edifying in the sense of education. So most of Marcus Garvey teaching is like they didn't understand because it was on a educational level, and at the time his rivals who were educated people who did a lot of brainwash on the black race through the passage of time, let us believe that, you know, Marcus wasn't saying anything, and Marcus was like a troublemaker, and Marcus wasn't for the black man. They always try to confuse the process, but I am glad as a young man that I have read the history of Marcus and know that Marcus was a man of peace, a man of love, a man of joy, a man of building nation. Because after a while, Marcus wasn't talking even about the black race, so to speak, but for people in general to uplift their race, and more specifically emphasize more on his race, which is a black man, which I've seen nothing wrong with that. And I think today, in today's world, if black people at large could come together, try to build an empire, just like the Chinese, the Jews, the Syrians, all these other children of the rainbow. So we have to try to come together, stop the killing, leave the drugs alone, more family oriented, take care of our kids, and spend more time with our kids and spend more money on education for our children instead of spending money on cars and jewels and girls and alcohol and drugs, etc., etc. We have to make education the #1 priority and follow the footsteps of Marcus Garvey, and on the top of his list was education, because he said that a nation without education have no vision, and that nation will perish.
You are listening to Sister Oya Kali on Sojourners for Truth.
Africa unite, cause we're moving right out of Babylon, and we're going to our father's land. Yeah, how good and how pleasant it would be.
I got my mind set and I'm focused. I meditate the words of Marcus. Me know how to dismantle locus. Them not like me because me speak righteous, yeah. I saw a land I could not see, a land where black people will be free, riches and wealth, no more poverty. No man should be dying over vanity. Marcus will be smiling for black liberty, yeah. I got my mindset and I'm focused. Me meditate the words of Marcus, yeah. Yo, this is the realest, dealest ginger in flesh. I'm here. Well, you know, you see Marcus, I love how Marcus speak. I love his words. You know, Marcus, to me, Marcus is very influential to me because I have some books that I read on Marcus still, and you know, Marcus just fight for black power and all that. So me I say, yo, Marcus, live on, spirit live on, because you don't know, you have to look up to the ancestors, them else you're not going nowhere. You have to look to the foundation, because you just can't jump on not knowing your history, not knowing your culture. You have to know these things. So Marcus play a big part in my life, you know? Yeah.
Do we have a responsibility to Africa as artists in your eyes?
Yeah, man, so you see our responsibility is to unite against, you know, just unite amongst ourselves, not fussing and fighting your black brother, you know, or your black sister, not neglecting and all that. So it's all about, one should just show love to them brethren or them sister, and it's all about that. We have a big responsibility, and the responsibility is for show love.
All right.
Canada for the Canadians, of America for the Americans, of England for the English, of France for the French, of Germany for the Germans. They take it unreasonable, we the black people want to hear the cry, Africa for the Africans.
100 Christian soldiers ready with the torch. Make we start the fire and sing Africa, we are come. Mama land, good can done. Africa, the time is here. Mama land will always be there for me. Set them free. I remember in the days of old, when black men were bought and sold. For what we have, they try to kill us and take control on them. Rob silver and gold.
want to say greetings to the massive, you know. This is Trevi representing the Boom Shaka crew. Rastafari. Love. Marcus Garvey kind of write the script for we kind of defend him. And he kind of defended the intellectual tip in terms of black people's struggle in the Western world, you know, to make the humanity legitimate, you know what I mean? Marcus Garvey, even though when you check the type of work he did, because he was one, you know, he had one of the biggest movements ever created for black people at the time. And that thing was created in a time when there was no, like, he didn't have any television access, you know, it was just like people, just, you know what I mean? Came from a place like Jamaica and, you know, really motivated for us. So he wrote the script in how we can really defend our people. So for that, we'll always be grateful, you know what I mean? As far as like all the leaders, there's been so much, you know what I mean? Even if I say from the Caribbean, I say Toussaint Olivache, you know, was the brother from Haiti, that, you know, who led one of the first slave revolts in the Western world and was really successful, you know what I mean? And Toussaint defeat like an army of Napoleon, you know what I mean? Which was like one of the top armies on the planet at the time. And the brothers them rough them down, you know, kill enough of the man them, you know what I'm saying? And gain their freedom. I think probably that's one of the reasons that the Haitians have been never forgiven for that. You know, that kind of a mystic way, you know.
What do you say to those who have the calling that want to fight, want to go out and do, but are afraid of losing their life? What is the future for the revolutionaries?
Well, like I was saying before, you know, I operate on a premise that Jah will, you know, Jah win. Jah always gonna win the battle that I am involved in, which is the battle of good over evil, you know what I mean? And one of the main things that we're involved in right here in the Western world, as a people, is like we've been dehumanized, you know, in the economics of how that part of the world was run, you know. We lost our humanity based on the color of our skin, the pigmentation, you know. Even the word itself is a very sick word, pig, P-I-G, pig, you know what I mean? We lost our humanity based on that word, you know what I mean? And we've been kind of paying for that, for the crimes of that and stuff, you know what I mean? From them time until now. But me as a Rasta man know that everything originated from Africa, you know, and all these people now on the planet is our children, you know what I mean? So the quicker the world vibes that energy is, the better, you know what I mean? They come to terms with that, because the simple thing, you're supposed to honor your mothers and your fathers, you know, so your day is supposed to be long amongst you, you know what I mean? So these men there, who for all these years been dehumanizing us, you know, and dehumanizing black people, brown people on the planet based on the little economic plans and little spiritual gimmicks they want to deal with, you know what I mean? It's almost like you putting your parents in chains, you know, and there's a calm and the energy has to come with that also too, you know. So the quicker we just come to terms with that, and I is one people, you know, all right? Rastafari.
Well, you will have merited God's blessing, you will have become God's chosen people, and naturally you will become leaders of the world. And as you bow down to the white man today, so a lot of races bow down to you and call you a race of master because of the superiority of your mind and your achievements. Because no race has the last word on culture and civilization. They do not know what we are capable of. They do not know what we are thinking. They are thinking in terms of dreadnoughts, battleships, airplanes, submarines. You know what we are thinking about? That is our own private business.
The powers to chant, Jah give her the powers to chant, Jah give her the powers to chant. With Rastafari words, yo, me nah gallivant. Jah give her the powers to chant, Jah give her the powers to chant, Jah give her the powers to chant. Me come to give the people what they need and not what they want. Most High, and I'm thanking you for all the things you've done for us. Yet protect our life and all this skillful guidance. Oh, you've done so much. You've made us up pure in your glory and your likeness of such. Mount Zion is so holy, the arm of your garment. Little children wanna touch.